Could I not? Investing in ETFs, REITs, commodities, and forming REITs. What is an ETF? ETF means exchange traded funds. It's a basket. Look at this basket in front of you. This is what ETF is. So there are companies that we call funds manager or investment banks. They create these buckets, right, where they collect money from several people, and then they can now invest that money into several other instruments. From this explanation, someone that is very smart, what do you think ETF looks like based on the previous conversations we've had? Which other investment collects money from people and then invest at the discretion of the funds manager? Anyone? Drop it in the comment box. Let me see. I just want to be sure that you guys are following, because there is always a linkage between every investment that we have talked about. And I always want you guys to see how one links to the other, because they don't exist in silos. So anyone, you want to help us based on the explanation I've just given right now? ETF is like what? I'm waiting. No. Just guess. Just guess. If you are wrong, I will tell you that you are wrong. ETF is like what? Look, I think you guys are not sure. Okay, in order not to waste too much time, ETF is just like mutual funds. It's the same way ETF works is how mutual funds work. Don't forget I said mutual funds manager. A funds manager would take a bucket or a basket and collect money from several people. They will now take that money and invest as institutional investors. Example of what they invest into, they now invest into treasury bills. Don't forget at last class, we said that not a lot of people can afford to invest in T-bills. How much do you need to invest in T-bills in Nigeria, primary market? I'm asking a question. How much do you need to invest in a treasury bill, primary market? How much?
10 million.
Primary market. We discussed, thank you, it's 50 million. You need minimum of 50 million to invest directly. And investing in primary market means you are buying directly from CBN, meaning you are going to send in your own bid for the treasury bill, right? Because a lot of people cannot afford that. These smart guys, these smart investment banks, they now create a fund, they create a bucket where they receive monies from different people. They now use that money to invest in treasury bills. So your money market at the end of the day gets invested into treasury bills. You don't know what they're investing into, right? Your own concern is that my money is giving me interest. So they're investing in treasury bills, they're investing in stock, they're investing in several things. The same way mutual fund works is how ETF works. ETF also collects money from several people and then invest as they deem it fit. The major difference between an ETF, don't forget, I'm going to ask you this again and again. You're going to be writing an exam at some point. I don't like calling it an exam. It's just a quiz to check how this program has helped your knowledge, right? So I'm going to ask you this. It's one of my most frequently asked question. So the difference between ETF and mutual funds is such that ETF can be bought directly from the floor of the stock exchange. Mutual fund needs to be bought from the funds manager. In other words, I told you guys that you need to open minimum of 2 accounts. The first account is your money market account. The second account is your stock broking account. You see that your stock broking account is what you use to buy ETF, because you buy ETF exact same way that you buy stocks. It is listed on the floor of the stock exchange. So that's the major difference between ETF and mutual funds. Mutual fund, you buy directly from the fund's manager. ETF, you buy on the floor of the stock exchange. A very good example, the most popular ETF in the world is S&P 500. Is a fund that invests into 500 companies of the world. So if I don't want to buy stock of Amazon, Google, and all those other guys, and I invest into S&P 500, I have indirectly bought shares of 500 companies. So that is what S&P 500 is a mutual fund. It's an ETF that invests into 500 different companies. In the context of Nigeria, so I've just also explained that these are some of the things that you are likely to find an ETF investing into. ETF can invest into shares. Shares is also equities. It can invest into properties. It can invest into cash assets. It can invest into different funds, equity fund, this fund, that fund. It can invest into even retirement savings. There are some ETFs that invest into commodities. Some invest into bonds and all of that. So in the context of Nigeria, when I did this slide, these were the top, because this slide was done, I think, the third or fourth cohort. I have not updated the price. I want us to do this exercise. You are going to go on your, how many of you guys have opened your stockbroking account right now? You have your stockbroking account, is working. You can access, you have your app. You've bought shares through your app. How many of you? Please let me know, because you're the ones that can help us with this exercise that we're about to do now. Put in the comment section, let me see. No, who has? Yes, Oluwatosin, you haven't. Anyone? You're already buying shares with your app. Oleka, I know. No, Oleka Bamboo. I want a Nigerian company that you have opened account with that is working. Someone said Afri Invest. Oleka, you said Afri Invest now. So I assume that you're already using Afri Invest. Who else apart from Oleka? Chidera said no CSCS. Chidera, which company is that? Okay, David, Mary Stem, excellent. So Chidera Mary Stem, no CSCS. It means you can still use the app though. You can't just buy. What we are going to do is just to check. When I did this, when I prepared this slide, Stanbic 30, I prepared this slide sometimes in October last year. Stanbic 30 was trading at 381 Naira per unit. Let us check how much Stanbic IBT. Just look for Stanbic on your portal. Type Stanbic 30 and let us know what is the cost now. How much is it trading for now? We just want to see how it has increased in 6 months. Then another person should also help us check New Gold debentures, check Vertiva. Let's check all these things so we can update. So Stanbic 30 means that anytime you see numbers like this attached to the name of any fund, Stanbic 30, it simply means a fund by Stanbic IBTC that invests into 30 different companies. So this fund invests into 30 different companies. Buying a unit of this fund means that you are buying into 30 companies indirectly, right? So I'm waiting for you guys to just check the current price and put it. Excellent. So Stanbic 30 is now 550. Yeah. So let's check other ones as well. So you can see the growth. Like I said, if you really want to monitor the growth of your investment, you need a minimum of 1 year. 1 year says a lot. It helps you track whether something is growing or not. So you don't use 1 or 2 months to check the growth, to analyze the growth. It's going to be, you are going to always make a mistake if that is your yardstick. Can you imagine? New Gold is now 30,499. So it has more than doubled. It has grown more than 100%. So not a lot of people can even afford this one now. 30,000 for 1 unit. So it means for you to buy 1,000 units, you need more than 3 million naira. Okay, so we can continue to check what But these are some of the top ETFs in Nigeria right now that if you want to invest into ETF, you can consider them. So let's talk about commodities ETFs. Commodities ETFs are funds that invest in specific commodities or several different commodities. Commodities in these funds may include precious metals, livestock, oil, coffee, sugar. So if you want to invest in commodities, a lot of emphasis are placed on commodities like precious metals, gold. Let's say you want to invest in gold. Gold is actually a good source of investment. You can invest in gold. It's called alternative investment or commodity investing. So you want to invest in gold right now. There are 3 ways to invest in gold. The first one is you can buy the gold directly, and it can be gold bars, gold coins, or gold jewelry. So you buy the gold directly and you keep. But the risk in doing that is security, theft, burglary. What happens if you buy the gold and you keep in your house and you get robbed? Your investment is gone. So how do you protect yourself against that? You protect yourself against that by, number one, insurance. There are insurance right now that allows you to insure your assets, including your gold. So you insure the gold. If it gets missing, the insurance company is obligated to indemnify you. Indemnify means that they bring you back to the